Part 7. Pastoral Nomadism. Sheep and Goats. Not everyone who left hunter-gatherer society went on to become sedentary farmers. Another type of lifestyle arose, also by special breeding. Certain types of ungulates, or split-hoofed animals, were delicious food sources. It's believed by some scholars that as people were expanding, humans began wiping out these hoofed animals and began to adopt and care for the young as a method of preserving the species, which were no longer easy to hunt. As it turns out, they were easy to imprint on if captured early enough, and they began to realize caring for these creatures long term would provide them with a steady supply of milk, wool, leather, and meat. With their dogs, they were able to learn to herd them, and they, like their hunter-gatherer counterparts, would travel wherever the pastures were greenest, which sometimes caused clashes with the agrarians who cultivated the field, but were delicious to the hoofed animals. Once they learned how to breed one kind of hoofed animal, they tried with others as well. Some with good results, some not so good. Some of them became beasts of burden. Some even were bred to be ridden. To this day, there are still nomadic tribes in the plains areas that make a living like they had for millennia off the hoofed creatures, including the old American cowboy and ranchers, though more and more use trucks over horses these days. Sheep were the first to be domesticated, the animal to be domesticated earliest only beat by the dog. 11,000 to 9,000 years ago, there were at least 3 separate domestication events for sheep in the Fertile Crescent from the bighorn sheep. The goats would follow with the Bezoar ibex, and mitochondrial DNA puts them at having 4 different domestication events, first near the Tigris River in Turkey, Persia, the Indus River Valley, and possibly even Eastern Asia. Goats had the advantage of a much wider diet than sheep, but retained much of the more stubborn and mean traits. Milk, wool, meat, and hide on poorly farmable land made herding much more logical. With this understanding of raising and breeding animals, more species of animals became available for grazing. This grazing would in some cases change the landscape over time with high levels of fertilization from their excrement. With this understanding of raising and breeding animals, more species of animals became available for grazing. One of the biggest ones we'll talk about is the cow.